Hello.
Oh, hi. Welcome to your Springlock suit training.
Okay.
Um, I just need to clarify a few things before we get started, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so the first thing is this Jack?
Yes.
Alrighty, good to know, good to know, good to know. Okay,
Hello,
the second
Miles.
thing is, before we begin, I was told by our code of conduct, or policy, if you want to consider it, that I must know your staff ID, just in case, this isn't a staff or anything.
Sure. It's 5834 673859.
Okay, yeah, that does check out. Okay.
Hello, Miles.
Now, I guess that's all I
Sorry,
have to say,
sorry, I have my
since we
mic muted.
know
I'm
your name is
sorry.
Jack, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Alright, let's begin, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
So, you see that little crank on the right side of the table?
Yeah.
Go ahead and grab it for me.
Alright.
Perfect. So now that you got that crank, oh, before I continue, by the way, a quick disclaimer. Um, I currently have cameras on you. Now, hold on, hold on, hold on. Before you take that as like you don't have a right of privacy in here, blah 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 blah. The reason why there's cameras on you is because I would be able to know what the next step to tell you is. So right now you just picked up that crank, right? And I saw you that you picked up the crank. And so since you picked up the crank, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you the next step so then you can continue with the spring lock training. So just don't take the the whole camera thing is on you and I'm gonna be
Okay.
able to like what's that word? Just like you don't have any privacy, but you do. Okay, just not really in here. Anyway, let's continue. So the next step is go ahead and place the crank on the right side of Bonnie's head. Now, not your right. It's your left, which is the right side of Bonnie's head. So if I would put that in short term, put the crank on the right side of Bonnie's head, which is on your left. Okay? So it's on your left. And then we'll move on to the next step. Great, so now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and crank Bonnie's eyes. Now, before you start, doing the cranking and all that, I just gotta warn you, make sure you do it very carefully, and when you do it carefully, you take out the eyes individually, okay? Once you're done with taking out the eyes or whatever, I will tell you the next step. Remember, carefully and individually, okay?
Oh,
Great, so now that you got the eyes out, all you gotta do is press the button on Bonnie's left shoulder, which is on your right, okay? And the button's not really visible, but it's there, so all you gotta do is reach your hand under his left shoulder, and then press the button. Remember, the left shoulder is on your right. Okay, Jack, I think you kind of messed up because his rib cage, or whatever you call it, is not supposed to go back that far. I think you tightened it a little too hard. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let's just skip to the next thing. So the next thing you need to do is just pull off his head, and I'll tell you the next step. Great, okay, so now what you want to do is what you want to pull off Bonnie's left arm. In short term, it's on your right. And then I will tell you the next step. Remember, left arm is on your right. Perfect. So now the next step is to pull off his right arm, which is on your left. Same thing, right? And then I will tell you the next step. Remember, his right arm is on your left. Okay? And looks like we reached the end of the journey. Alright, Jack. Before we do our last and final step, which is to take off the torso, please don't do it yet. I'm definitely going to report this to the corporate. They did an amazing job today. And I'll also, oh yeah, I also have to do a few things. Okay, so I have to read off this paper real quick. I know, policy, so let me just... Alright, Jack. So... page 1 of the Springlock Training Manual. If or any suspicious activity is going on inside the Springlock suits, report to corporate immediately. Speaking of which, William Apton, he's been using those suits lately. So if you find anything suspicious around going on, speaking of that, if you Heard of the missing? You've heard of the missing kid report, right? Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else
Well, you
here?
should have. Basically, William Efton is the #1 suspect, but sadly there is no evidence to back it up. Speaking of evidence, if you find anything, I mean anything inside of the suits in the back room, please go ahead and report to corporate or me immediately. Now, speaking of